Act as if it believe and act as if it were impossible to fail. Inventor with over 140 patents and honorary doctorates from nearly 30 universities, one of the great strategies for success is to act as if you are already where you want to be. This means thinking like, talking like, dressing like, acting like, and feeling like the person who has already achieved your goal. Acting as if sends powerful commands to your subconscious mind to find creative ways to achieve your goals. It programs the reticular activating system, rewires in your brain, to start noticing anything that will help you succeed. And it sends strong messages to the universe that this end goal is something you really want. The first time I noticed this phenomenon was at my local bank. There were several tellers working there, and I noticed that one in particular always wore a suit and tie. Unlike the other two male tellers who just wore a shirt and a tie, this young man looked like an executive. A year later, I noticed he had been promoted to his own desk, where he was taking loan applications. 2 years later, he was a loan officer, and later he became the branch manager. I asked him about this one day, and he replied that he always knew he would be a branch manager. So he studied how the manager dressed and started dressing that way. He studied how the manager treated people and started interacting with people the same way. He started acting as if he were a branch manager long before he ever became one. To fly as fast as thought, to be anywhere there is, you must first begin by knowing that you have already arrived. In the late 70s, I met a seminar leader who had just returned from a distant place. I decided that I, too, wanted to travel and speak around the globe. I asked myself what I would need to become an international consultant. I called the passport office and asked them to send me an application. I purchased a clock that showed all the international time zones. I had business cards printed with the words international consultant on them. Finally, I decided that a certain place would be the first place I would like to go. So I went to a travel agency and got a huge travel poster featuring famous landmarks and a local animal crossing sign. Every morning while I ate my breakfast, I looked at that poster on my refrigerator and imagined being there. Less than a year later, I was invited to conduct seminars in 2 cities there. As soon as I started acting as if I were an international consultant, the universe responded by treating me like one, the powerful law of attraction at work. The law of attraction simply states that like attracts like. The more you create the vibration, the mental and emotional states of already having something, the faster you attract it to you. This is an immutable law of the universe and critical to accelerating your rate of success. 2 kids who love golf and had very large dreams. One's goal was to someday win a major tournament, and the other's was to someday work for a sports network as an announcer. When they were suitemates at a university in the late 70s, they used to play act the scene where the winner of the tournament is escorted into a cabin to receive a green jacket and be interviewed by the network announcer. 14 years later, the scene they had rehearsed many times in a dorm hall at the university played out in reality as the whole world was watching. One won the tournament and was taken by tournament officials into the cabin, where he was interviewed by the sports network announcer. After the cameras stopped rolling, the two embraced each other with tears in their eyes. They always knew it was going to be that tournament that one won, and that the other would be there to cover it. The amazing power of acting as if with unwavering certainty. In many of my seminars, we do an exercise called the Millionaire Cocktail Party. Everyone stands up and socializes with the other participants as if they were all at an actual cocktail party. However, they must act as if they have already achieved all of their financial goals in life. They act as if they already have everything they want in life. Their dream house, their vacation home, their dream car, their dream career, as well as if they have achieved any personal, professional, or philanthropic goals that are important to them. Everyone suddenly becomes more animated, alive, enthusiastic, and outgoing. People who seemed shy a few minutes earlier reach out and assertively introduce themselves to others. The energy and volume level of the room soars. People excitedly tell each other about their achievements, invite each other to their vacation homes in tropical islands, and discuss their recent safaris in a continent and their philanthropic missions to developing countries. After about 5 minutes, I stop the exercise and ask people to share how they are feeling. People report feeling excited, passionate, positive, supportive, generous, happy self, confident, and content. I then ask them to look at the fact that their inner feelings, both emotional and physiological, were different, even though in reality their outer circumstances were still the same. They had not actually become millionaires in the real world, but they had begun to feel like millionaires simply by acting as if they were. You can begin right now to act as if you have already achieved any goal you desire, and that outer experience of acting as if will create the inner experience, the millionaire mindset, as it were, that will take you to the actual manifestation of that experience. Once you choose what it is you want to be, do, or have, all you have to do is start acting as if you already are doing, or having it. How would you act if you already were a straight-A student, top salesperson, highly paid consultant, rich entrepreneur, world-class athlete, best-selling author, internationally acclaimed artist, sought-after speaker, or celebrated actor or musician? How would you think, talk, act, carry yourself, dress, treat other people, handle money, eat, live travel, and so forth? Once you have a clear picture of that, start being it. Now, successful people exude self-confidence, ask for what they want, and say what they don't want. They think anything is possible, take risks, and celebrate their successes. They save a portion of their income and share a portion with others. You can do all of those things now before you ever become rich and successful. These things don't cost money, just intention. And as soon as you start acting as if, you will start drawing to you the very people and things that will help you achieve it in real life. Remember, the proper order of things is to start now and be who you want to be, then do the actions that go along with being that person, and soon you will find that you easily have everything you want in life: health, wealth, and fulfilling relationships. I attended a party that deeply impacted the lives of all of us who attended. It was a come-as-you-will-be party held on a ship. Those of us who attended were to envision where we would like to be 5 years into the future. After we had created our ideal vision, we were to then stretch our imaginations even further to make our vision even bigger still. When we attended the party, we were to act as if our vision had already come true. We were to dress the part, talk the part, and bring any props that demonstrated that our dream had already come true. Books written, awards earned, and large paychecks received. We were to spend the evening bragging about our accomplishments, celebrating our successes and the successes of others, talking about how happy and fulfilled we were, and discussing what we were going to do next. We were to stay in character the entire night. When we arrived, we were met by 20 men and women who had been hired to play the part of adoring fans and paparazzi. Cameras flashed and fans screamed our names asking for autographs. I went as a best-selling author with several reviews of my #1 bestseller to show people. A man who came as a multimillionaire dressed as a beach bum, his vision of retirement, spent the evening handing out real lottery tickets to everyone at the party. A woman brought a mock edition of a magazine with her face on the cover for winning an international award for making advances in the peace movement. A man who wanted to retire and spend his life as a sculptor showed up in a leather sculptor's apron with a hammer and chisel and safety goggles and pictures of sculptures he had made. Another gentleman who wanted to become a successful stock trader spent the entire evening answering his cell phone, talking animatedly, and then commanding, buy 5,000 shares or sell 10,000 shares. He had actually hired someone to call him every 15 minutes during the party just to carry off his act as if. A movie producer arrived dressed in a tuxedo, having envisioned winning an award for his first co-production with another group. His wife, who was just embarking on a writing career and had yet to sell a book, arrived carrying mock-ups of 3 books she had written. In the spirit of everyone supporting everyone else's dream, people told her that they had seen her on talk shows. Others congratulated her for making the best-seller lists and for winning a prize. And so it went all evening long. And as you know, if you've read this far, the same thing happened to me. I went on to write, compile, and edit over 80 books, including 11 #1 bestsellers. That party, where we maintained our future personas for over 4 hours, flooded our subconscious minds with powerful images of already having achieved our aspirations. These vivid experiences, infused with the positive emotions generated by the events of the evening, strengthened the positive neural pathways in our brains that in some cases forged, and in other cases deepened, our new self-images of being super successful. But most importantly, it worked. All those who attended that party have gone on to realize the dreams they acted out that night and much, much more. Make the commitment to throw a come-as-you-will-be party for your closest circle of friends, your company, your business associates, your graduating class, or your mastermind group. Why not build it into your annual convention or sales meeting? Think of the creative energy, awareness, and support it will release. You can use the following invitation: join us for a celebration that will stretch your imagination and catapult you into your own future. Arrive as who you will be 5 years from now. Dress in your very best. Speak only in the present tense the entire evening, as if all your goals have been achieved and all your dreams have already come true. You will be videotaped as you arrive. Bring props to show everyone what you have achieved in the years between, such as best-selling books you've written, magazine covers you've been on, awards you've won, and photographs or scrapbooks of your achievements. Throughout the evening, you will have the opportunity to applaud others in their achievements and to receive congratulations. A few years after the party, I appeared on a show and shared my experience. They immediately recognized the power of the idea and decided to throw a similar party for all of their crew and friends. Here is what one wrote about it years later in a book. I giggle whenever I think about our 5-year party. We went all out with fake paparazzi interviews and a red carpet entrance. I had sent telegrams to the party house from famous people congratulating everyone on their accomplishments. We carried around copies of our new book. I'd made mock books with a cover using a crazy picture of us, the only photo I could drum up that afternoon. At that time, we didn't even have an outline, let alone a book deal. 2 years later, a publisher released our book, and by pure coincidence, out of all the headshots we submitted for the jacket, the photograph they decided to use was the same one I used on the fake book jacket. The book did very well, went through 3 hardcover printings, and eventually also sold as a paperback. My daughter was 10 and in elementary school. Because I was afraid she'd be a horrid, naughty, sassy teenager within the next 5 years, I hired a young 15-year-old to play my darling, loving, good yet normal teenage daughter. I provided her with a script. She burst into the house and kissed my cheek, exclaiming how great it was that we had this special relationship where we talked about everything and hardly ever fought. She said she couldn't stay long because she was on her way to a party with her designated driver, and while she was quite a healthy, normal teenager, I really had nothing to worry about because she never got carried away with drinking alcohol or smoking pot. I also had to throw this in. She explained that she was going to see a famous actor's son at the party. The whole bit got lots of laughs. Fast forward. First of all, my daughter and I have that special relationship I dreamed about. I don't know why, but we do talk about everything. It's okay. I'm not dumb. Certain things are saved for best friends and siblings. We rarely ever fight. She's a wise and moderate teenager, and she actually goes to parties with the actor's son. It's true. When I'd made up that little scenario, I'd had no idea where the actor lived. I didn't even know if he had kids. What are the chances that my daughter would end up in the same high school as his son? What a crazy 5-year party! The purpose of the come as you will be party is to create an emotionally charged experience of what it will be like when you have made it, when you have achieved your dreams. When you spend an evening living out the lifestyle you want and deserve, you lay down powerful blueprints in your subconscious mind that will later support you in perceiving opportunities, creating powerful solutions, attracting the right people, and taking the necessary actions to achieve your dreams and goals. Be clear that one party like this is not enough by itself to change your entire future. You will still have to do other things to make it happen. However, it is one more piece in an overall system of powerful, acting as if strategies that will support you in the creation of your desired future.